been made in Canadian basketball.
One hand down, all over the defense.
One-hand talkback.
Oh! Bringing the fans to their feet, putting a man in the rim.
Ain't that awesome? Oh my Lord!
Welcome to the NPA on NPH.
Good morning. Welcome everybody inside of Crestwood Preparatory College here in North York, Ontario. The first basketball tournament in Canada in the calendar year of 2018. We kick off the New Year Challenge here. Beast Prep in the blue taking on host Crestwood in the white. Jason Tom here alongside Elias Sabate. Starting off pretty quick, Franco Miller from downtown to open the scoring here to begin 21 games in 4 days. Teams from across this great nation taking part in the NPA. Elias, got a lot of games going on, a lot of great matchups, and we want to thank Crestwood Preparatory for hosting us here today.
AJ, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you guys for joining us so early in the year and so early this morning. We're really looking forward to hosting these games and putting on a real show. I think these kids have been, I've spoke to a lot of them over the course of the break, and many of them have not taken any days off. They've been, watching their nutrition. They've been in training, so they're going to be ready to go here.
Beast Prep with some new additions to the roster. A little undermanned here this morning, as is Crestwood without their starting point guard, Jacoby Neath. But talking before this game, the Lions definitely have the depth to be able to play no matter who they're missing. But Beast Prep, looking forward to seeing what they can do. They were fairly solid in the Ottawa session, but I mean, this is a brand new team that's still getting used to playing together. So this is one of the teams I was looking forward to seeing. And you want to talk about Franco Miller. This is a guy who's going to have teams lining up for his services next year.
NCAA coaches have already taken notice, and many of which have showed interest and would like his services, like you said. They'll be evaluated. This is going to be used as pretty much an evaluation period for him and many others.
Miller with a couple of downtown connections to make it a 6-0. Crestwood getting after it on D. Beast searching for something. Nice drive and dish, but no finish down low. Trevon Thomas starting for Crestwood, taking the spot of Jacoby Neath at the point guard position.
And it's such an interchangeable position for them. They got many guys that could play 1, 2, and 3. Kobe Antwi stands at 6'4", and he's very well capable of playing PG. Actually started in that position as a youngster.
Two shots coming up for one of those new additions for Beast Prep, Victor Yoryor out of Nigeria. 6'6", class of 2019 at the line now, shooting 2, looking to get Beast Prep on the board just over 2 minutes in to the opening quarter here today.
Work for whatever reason, but all in whenever you get a chance, you kind of look into it.
I know what you mean. So this is our first of 6 games on the day today. Next up, we got Central Tech and Saint Laurent. Saint Laurent out of Quebec just filed in behind us. Another team we're looking forward to seeing. They were dealing with some injuries in our Ottawa session previously this season, but they got everybody back now. Also have Trayvon Manat, who just recently made his commitment for next season.
Looks like we got an injury on the floor here. Coach is out on the floor. Seemed to have landed wrong on his foot.
Got pulled out behind him, it looked like. Well, things get figured out here. We're going to take a short break here in the early going. Stay with us. We'll be back.
History has been made in Canadian basketball.
From the Maritimes to the nation's capital.
I just like the sound.
Brady Cancun, my goodness.
To the 6.
Oh, big block there
To the prairies.
by Jashawn Henry.
All the way to British Columbia. This is the NPA.
One hand jam, all over the defense.
Back to live game action. There's David Abiodun, who's now on the bench, nursing an ankle injury. Beast Prep having to go to their bench early as they're still looking for their first points of the game. Both these teams will be playing 2 games today, trying to kick off their 2018 with some high caliber games. No foul called there. Luis Pacheco couldn't finish in the lane.
Pacheco's one of those bigs who I consider an under the radar guy. A lot of coaches are unfamiliar with him. He's coming in from New York here, and I think he's been pretty impactful for this team.
You want to talk about impact? That's your man right there, Franco Miller, doing it all on offense for Crestwood. 8-0 run to start off this game. We'll be back live to Crestwood Preparatory College, game 1 of 21, the New Year Challenge.
Oh, goodness gracious. Campbell with the facial. Oh! E-man. Defense to offense.
Cummins, that is
No
not
way.
the guy.
No way.
Cummins.
Oh!
What's the foul?
Cummins got the answer. Wow. That's another good one. There is Sammy Hunter. And that was it. Oh, my Lord.
And look at this. Danilo Jiricic ending his high school career with a dagger of a spike.
GTA Prep wisely feeding the hot hand. Oh, nice step back cross through. And we got Sidney Kabongo on fire right now. Oh! How about that nasty from Jashawn Henry?
Stick back,
Welcome back to Crestwood Preparatory College, where it's Franco Miller 8, Beast Prep 0.
And Franco can score in bunches, and he'll get it done from everywhere on the floor. So tough guy to guard, really.
And this Crestwood defense is set up early, but they couldn't finish in transition.
You know,
This team.
I love that. I love what we just saw there in that series after the steal. Franco was very well capable of scoring off of that bucket. He actually wanted to get his teammates involved, so passed it off. And guys got to be looking to finish those situations. But nonetheless, 10 points on the board, all Miller.
A little hesitation, dribble, hard foul. Luis Pacheco laying some lumber. I mentioned Beast Prep was a little undermanned this morning, trying to find an answer on offense. Matthew Green there, getting to the line after hitting the floor hard, finally gets Beast Prep on the board. Crestwood had a hard schedule up in Ottawa for our first session. One of those teams that I think will be able to use some early losses early in their season to help them as they go along, and I think we're seeing it early on here. This team looks to be on the same page, playing together, and they have so many different weapons. Kobe Antwi, one of them, at the charity stripe now. Making good on the three-point play. Some decent passing there from Beast Prep, but Crestwood is turned up here on defense in the early going, getting their hands in the passing lane.
I don't know what it is about the first game of every session. Teams just look a little timid or, nervous. most of Beast, Beast being able to get into the half court, they just seem a little loose with their passes.
Crestwood as well, obviously the host school here, so they're nice and comfortable getting out to it early on. Steal and finish from Kobe Antwi, 15-1. Crestwood looking to step on the necks early on against Beast Prep. Nice pass in transition. Luis Pacheco blows the dunk. Nice pass. And once again, Pacheco trying to throw down.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the aggression coming at the rim and trying to finish with that same intensity. Defenders are gonna think twice when you actually start to put those in.
Trevon Thomas has been solid at the point guard spot here, getting the start. Nice dish there, trying to set up that dunk.
Emery Demirisu, number 5 for Crestwood, now on the floor. He's one of their sharp shooters. Pacheco no good on the second.
Once again, that Crestwood defense closing out on shooters. Not an awful lot of space being given out there and swallowing up the lane as well. Count the shot, Javon Davis. Just trying to guide that ball through the basket to get it going. Pacheco, mouse in the house. Kicks it back out, almost took off the head of his teammate. That's Shane Scruggs cashing it.
Scruggs is an interesting one for me, man. I think he's, he fits at that mid to high level Canadian university. You could even play at some low Division 1s. I think he's got some versatility to him on the defensive end, and he's got a heck of a lot of length and scoring ability. I mean, you saw him hit that mid-range there, off balance, almost getting popped in the head, as you mentioned. And you'll see what he could do on the defensive end as well as a help side defender.
Luis Pacheco now going to the bench with 2 early fouls. He is a presence defensively for Crestwood. Had some impressive shot blocking skills on display up in Ottawa, but with him on the bench now, Beast may see the paint open up just a little bit, but as we mentioned before, they're a pretty deep squad. They got a lot of length, but this is probably the smallest that you'll see them go right now. Victor Yor cutting the lead down to 12. Beast has weathered the storm here in the early going, but they've dug themselves a double-digit hole. Demirsu down into the post, high post. Scruggs has it tied up, foul called. Crestwood has a lot of depth, but with only 11 guys dressed for this game, and they have a second one coming up today. Demirsu into the corner. Thomas back rim and out. Offensive rebound comes right back to Demirsu. Thomas again, nice little hesitation dribble. Finish lefty off glass. Nice move from the kid.
And we still got a lot of game to go here in the first quarter, and already taking a strong lead. The Crestwood Lions 19-5. Young Buck getting a chance to shine.
He looked good in Ottawa as well. Sorry to cut you off there, but yeah, Thomas looked good in Ottawa on the time that he did play.
You mean Elijah Fisher? That's who I was referring to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Trevon Thomas, who I'd like to, who's been a good start in this game. But yeah, no, I did not see that Elijah Fisher is now checked in. Who'll probably get a lot more burn today without Jacoby Neath in the lineup. But I mean, Fisher's another one with limited minutes up in Ottawa, still made quite an impact. Demirsu can't get it to go. Transition, pull up three, no good. Beast has not had the stroke going from range yet today.
And you'll see from the shot selection, they haven't used up a lot of the 24-second shot clock. So once they get it into the half-court set, they're quick to rush their possessions. They just want to get a shot off as opposed to getting a turnover. Playing a very nervous basketball right now.
A lot of nervous energy out there on the floor. Matt Green hits the first. And, you know, really with this Beast Prep squad, it's going to be a work in progress all season long, a first-year program being put together by head coach Greg Robitaille. Been playing a decent amount of out of NPA league games to try to get their flow together, but it's going to take some time for this squad to come together. Shane Scruggs with the putback. Meanwhile, Crestwood has played a number of out-of-country games as well at some pretty big-time tournaments, some high-level competition. You've been able to see how they've been able to grow as well. Nice to see David Abiodun back on the floor. The Lagos, Nigeria product. A little ankle injury here in the early going, but back out there now at the line.
Beast Prep, as you mentioned, a first-year program, you know, going through their natural growing pains. Right now, they hold a record of 2-5. Crestwood 2-3, and we'll have a bunch of games played here over the course of the week. You know, I think the one team that we're going to see a huge difference in, just an entirely different persona with their leader on the floor is St. Laurent Express. They got Ben Datro back, and I think that the whole country's in for a treat when they see this kid. I think he's a mid to high major level player. NCAA schools are already looking at him. I know there's a lot of interest based off of the conversations that I've had with coaches, and they just want to see him live. And you're going to see coaches in the gym this weekend that are coming out to recruit Canada.
That St. Laurent will be up next. You want to talk about a solid matchup. St. Laurent playing Central Tech, the Kevin Jeffers-led squad, is hungry. Talked to Jeffers over the holiday break. Always a quiet individual away from the floor. So when he said to me that his team was hungry for some high-level competition, they got it in this session, including St. Laurent, as I mentioned, and the big game on Saturday is they'll take on the defending NPA champions, CTA out of Ottawa.
And NBA, we're not there yet, quite, Jason.
Just one letter off. It's early for me as well. I'm still working out my my morning legs. 2:11 to go here in the opening quarter. Crestwood has been in control from the hop. Not too much of a surprise as they're hosting this session, and they got game one.
Home court advantage is definitely, it definitely comes into play. Familiarity with the lights, with the, with the rims, the size of the court, depth perception, all that comes into play. But I think after you've had, even if you're an away team, after you've had one game in the gym, you should be able to adapt pretty quickly. A net is a net, court is a court. All the measurements are the same, and the rules are the same. So no excuses after this one.
We're at 217 Brookbanks Drive in North York, Ontario. Crestwood Preparatory College, 4-day session, 21 games, $10 a day to get in, $30 for the entire session. We already have a pretty good crowd out here today, as you see Roe Russell, suited up to the nines here, has found himself a very nice home here at Crestwood Prep. Second year he's been here running the program, also helping run the girls program out of this school. If you have some time, check us out at NPH NorthPoleHoops.com. We dropped a feature last night on Crestwood, kind of explaining what they're doing here, trying to bring some high-level prep schooling to a lot of these players. Academics a high priority at this school. It's been around for about 40 years. Just started the basketball program a couple of years ago. Have had a lot of success with the hockey program in the past. That was Matthew Green cashing in from the baseline. 2 minutes to go here. Fisher onto the wing. Jaden Langley Thomas, 2 off of glass.
It's early to say, man, but Jaden Langley Thomas, I think, is one of those, the top point guards in his class of 2022. He's pretty young. However, I mean, the skill set that he brings, the length, size for position, all in check, and he's a fierce competitor. I really like what I've seen, you know, throughout the AAU circuit, and then as well here in the early going in the NPA.
Crestwood also has the junior varsity program here, so a lot of these young players who we've mentioned have been brought in with an eye to the future. Langley Thomas again.
And Matthew Green has not shied away. He's looking to carry the offense for this squad.
In the background there, you see Central Tech heading into the gym. They handled their business in Ottawa without a problem. And they are amped up, ready for this session. That first matchup, Quebec versus Ontario, coming up at 11:15 a.m. Broken play turns into a three-pointer. But wow, you know, Crestwood just running it down the throats of Beast Prep. Transition defense has much problem with the size and length. Another one of the new additions to Beast Prep, Michael Palamarchuk, dumped it down low. Another foul. It's a good thing the whistles have been going the way for Beast Prep, or they would have some problem here on the scoreboard, more so than they're already having. They're down 14 under a minute to go. The score could be a lot worse than it is. Abiodun hits the first. Decent crowd here already in the stands. Helps that we have the home team up first. But if you have a chance to get down here, please do. 6 games today, 7 tomorrow. 5 on Friday, and then 3 on Saturday. Nice move to the basket. Count it, plus the foul, Abdu Figaro out of Hamilton. Like what I've seen from him, talking to Greg Robitaille. Very impressed with this kid. But again, it's just getting all these players into the flow of the offense and getting them comfortable playing with one another.
And that PG right now, Tyrese Virgo wearing number 14 for Beast Prep. I think he's one of the more polished point guards for this team, more of a facilitator than a scorer, whereas Matthew Green comes on, you know, looking to be aggressive and assertive offensively.
Don't look now, but Beast has themselves back to within single digits, and they got the ball back. If there's one thing that this squad, there's 2 things that they've shown me this season. 1, they battle all the way to the end no matter what the score is, and 2, this team will play with anybody. Like they don't shy away from any matchup, any contest, any gym, doesn't matter what's going on. This team just wants the ball, and that's going to help them heading towards nationals.
An important piece for Beast Prep that's missing this morning is Anthony Bradshaw, 6'7", power forward. also out of Hamilton, Ontario. Been highly effective in the early session we had in Ottawa.
He was a monster in Ottawa. 10 points per game and 6 boards per game this season with Anthony Bradshaw, but they're missing that right now. 5 seconds to go. Thomas, no foul. But look at that, Beast battled back to keep it down just 7 through the opening quarter. They got to be happy with that. We'll be back, second quarter action. Beast taking on host Crestwood Preparatory College. Looking to beat the buzzer. Stick back jab, Jacoby Neath.
Hey! Let's go, man. Good pick, boy.
Transition, Shaheem Malcolm. Oh, someone checked that ball for a bruise. With the steal. Blowing past everybody, AJ Lawson.
Let's go, bro.
In transition, throwing it down. Off the backboard, Jashawn Henry. Shaheem Malcolm letting everybody know the Riverhawks have taken flight. Right down the lane with the slam. Oh, Sammy Hunter. There's Daves.
That's a dive. That's a dive.
Showtime from the Filipino Wrecking Machine. And if you want to put together a Matthew Daves highlight reel, oh, look out, your boy, Elijah Fisher. Two-handed slam.
Two out of Calgary.
Ooh, no-look pass. Big-time finish. Cole Newkirk.
Oh, so if you turn it over like that,
it doesn't matter.
Number 21, Nas Robert. You were definitely put things into perspective for him.
You want to talk about perspective.
My assist. Give me that assist. Oh, come on. Bang out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're just taking a look at some of the high scores that you will see in this Toronto session. One of the ones that you aren't going to see, the league's leading scorer right now, Jashawn Henry. Just a beast, and I know somebody you've been talking about for a lot of... I'm
major NCAA talent, and he's playing exactly like that. At this point in the season, he's averaging 28.3 a game. That is to go with his 7.1 rebounds and 2 assists. I don't have his block numbers, but I know for sure that he has at least 2 per game. I remember, and I constantly get this replay in my head of check that ball for a bruise. I remember you saying that after he makes a block shot.
I believe that's Matt Green down, caught an elbow. Shaheem Malcolm, meanwhile, pulling up the 2 spot when it comes to PPGs. And I know, Shaheem went out to New Brunswick as an opportunity to be the star of that squad, and he has definitely not shied away, and he's definitely delivered.
And for the 2020 class, we look at a kid that there's been doubters. There's been a lot of doubters with this kid, and I don't see why. The only thing it can result to is they just don't know him well enough. Okai Jamgos of London Basketball Academy, 22.5 points a game. That is no joke. This is a team that was a finalist last year. He's coming in and filling some big shoes for David Penny and Jalen Warren, and he's done an excellent job of it.
Really love that LBA squad, who you will see later on at 4:30 p.m. as they'll be taking on Crestwood, who'll be playing their second game of the day. LBA just so fun to watch. So many different ways that they can come at you, led by, you know, one of the best head coaches at the high school level that I've seen in Angelo Provenzano. And I just love to see what that team can do, and just have some of the nicest young men that you will ever find at the high school level.
And bodies are dropping for Beast left,
I was
right,
going to
and
say,
center.
Kobe Antwi, not very nice, just bowling into the lane there, basket in the bump.
And I think that a part of it is the Beast guys they're not all awake right now. What I mean by that is you saw Kobe driving from the corner to the baseline from time. Now, you weren't setting up to take a charge, so either you're going to get out of the way or you're going to take a hit.
I'm always curious, like these early morning games for this, you know, we've seen so many different, you know, a lot of research done about, you know, early school classes, and, you know, minds aren't woken up. I mean, how, as a kid this age, I mean, the early risers are few and far between. How do you get ready for an early morning game like this?
I mean, part of it is your internal clock by now should have been adjusted. You're for years and years, you're used to waking up at 7 to get ready for school. So by a 9:30 game, you should be good to go. You should have had your breakfast by 7:30, let it digest properly, and you should have got in here and stretched, which they did.
Oh, you want to stretch it out. Franco Miller stretching it up with a little chin up on the rim, but he's going to get teed up for that. Can't argue that one, Ro. I know you're going to go to battle with for your guys. Franco Miller just trying to get a little workout in. Can't do that in the middle of the game, though. That dunk pushed the lead up to 11. But they're going to give it right back, the free throw here. You know, we talk about, you know, off court, taking care of yourself, nutrition and stretching. But this is another one, you know, to get yourself prepared to play at any time of the day. And, you know, we see it obviously in the AAU circuit, 2-3 games a day. And there's certain things that guys need to do to keep themselves ready. Just being young doesn't always get it done. And I think that's what we saw with Beast here. They fell behind by double digits in the opening minutes, and they've been trying to battle back the whole way. They've got it back to single digits at one point, but they find themselves back down 10 now.
And the older blood on the floor right now for the Lions, Franco Miller, really taking advantage. He's got to have himself at least 15 by now. A top 10 scorer in the National Preparatory Association, currently averaging 18.4 points, 4.4 assists, and 3.2 rebounds.
Mature beyond his years is Franco Miller. Coming out of the Bahamas, had a chance to interview him for that Crestwood feature you can find on NorthPoleHoops.com, and very mature young man, really seems to get it. And really, you know, holds his future in his hands right now. He's come up here to Crestwood as an opportunity to get himself ready both in the classroom and on the floor to be prepared for the next level. Physically speaking, I think it's obvious to say he's ready.
Absolutely.
There he is again. That's his spot. Had hit 2 from there earlier on, but missed it now. And there we go again. Beast just a little sloppy. Franco inviting the contact, finishing off glass. Franco Miller, have yourself a first half. He's really shown it all here in the early going. Got quite a wind chill outside. Maybe that had something to do with that air ball we saw right there. Tristan running the stream beside me shook his head, said no. Just trying to give our players an opportunity to have an excuse, but Tristan not having it. put back Victor Yoryor. Get a couple more games under his belt in the NPA, and I think Victor is going to have quite an impact. And that's another kid who's been having an impact, Trevon Thomas, out of the point guard position. This team really not missing Jacoby Neath right now, and there's Thomas again, picking some pockets. Ooh, no foul call, ref. Ref's going over to have a little chat with him, maybe let him know. Thomas picking pockets, tried to finish in transition there. A 13-point lead for the home squad Lions. Stay with us. We'll be back after a short break here in North York.
Keep it going. Keep the intensity high.
Get your feet square. Get your feet square.
Take it home, write it down, grab a homie, and work on it. Work on it. Master it.
AJ Lawson, go! He gets it to go! Wow! Pick it up, Jalen.
Oh my God!
Top 10, top 10.
Two-way players are the best players. Understand that. Two-way players are the best players.
Here's Sabri Phillip, two-hand jam!
Let's go, boy!
It doesn't matter from what city you're from, how tall you are, what school, what club you represent. Game speaks. There's no politics here.
We've traveled across the country and back. 6 years running. Canada's basketball.
13-point deficit staring in the face of Beast Prep. Crestwood with a little full court press, trapping at half court. Beast broke it. Quick shot, no good. Pass down low, Pacheco can't get it.
And you want to see Pacheco get a little closer to the rim, establish position a little deeper, you know, just to give himself a better opportunity to score and use the glass.
Because really, outside of Nabi Odin, Pacheco is the biggest man on the floor out there.
I mean, he's got so much, Pacheco I'm referring to, has so many natural tools, his length, his athleticism. He's got a little bit of an IQ. He's got instincts on the defensive end as well. Really loving what I'm seeing from this kid here. Trevon Thomas.
He's getting after it.
Class of 2020 PG can control the floor and, as you just saw, play some defense as well. Can always respect the guy that not afraid to hit the floor, you know, hit the deck, go after loose balls, those 50-50s. Good feed here to Miller.
Like the demeanor as well at the point guard position. You know, doesn't seem to really get rushed. He got nailed his last time. Ooh, nice little crossover between the legs, but turns it over, and Crestwood now going the other way. Franco Miller dishing off glass. Count it. Samachi Agbagpu.
And Samachi will be graduating this year, looking for a school wide open in his recruitment.
Look at Crestwood's D. You know, even when Beast gets it over the midcourt, they really seem rushed. So even when they don't come up with the steal, which they've done many a times, Beast just does not seem comfortable once they get it over midcourt. Crestwood with a tough loss up in Ottawa against the defending champs. CTA handled them well. I know I talked to Rowe after that. He was not impressed with that game, but at the same time, he knew that was going to be an opportunity for growth for his squad. Pacheco with the block. Crestwood turning it up in transition. Ooh, had a wide open Demirsu, but instead, Langley Thomas tried to provide some showtime. Turnover instead. 5:38 to go here. 15-point lead for Crestwood. Offensive rebound. That'd be Odin. Body He's hitting the floor here in the early morning of game 1 of 21 of this NPA New Year's Challenge. Lots of contact, refs letting him play. An alert to all the squads not in the gym yet.
And Matthew Green was looking for a charge call there, almost got in position.
Everybody be ready to play today. The whistles are loose. Come in ready to bang bodies. Just over the midway point here, the second quarter. Beast trying to get the defensive setup going, but they have not been able to stop Crestwood. Just as I say that, off the miss, turning it up in transition. Pacheco always looking to swat shots. Such a presence on the defensive end. Had some early foul trouble, back out there now, and you really see the difference he makes. .422 to go. Crestwood, as I had mentioned, playing 2 games today, trying to keep some fresh bodies coming in. Into the post. Beast just tentative around the rim. There's a guy who's not tentative. Thomas just taking it time and time again, straight at the glass. Prosper Mubier Moriarty checking in on the scoreboard for the first time today. Crestwood getting it from every position on their floor. Julio Dugao.
This is where you're going to build some trust and earn some more minutes for later games. If you can show that you can get it done and show that you can keep building a lead here, coach is going to trust you.
Pull up in transition. And we got numbers going the other way for Beast. But Crestwood gets back to even that out. Nice spin along the baseline.
He's Moriarty. He's crafty, man. That other move he had going this way on the left side
resulted in a turnover, but got him through the initial traffic.
First coach is in this morning. College coaches and university coaches making their way in. University of Toronto, Mike DeGiorgio on the baseline right now. The Varsity Blues have been doing their part to build the program and become a powerhouse in Toronto. Ryerson, as we know, is currently head honcho representing Toronto.
I am so excited what we're seeing at the U Sports level. You know, obviously I'm a Toronto native, so I'm seeing what's being done there. Obviously you mentioned Ryerson up at York doing big things now. U of T, what an unbelievable complex they have there. That is one of the coolest gyms. If you haven't had a chance to catch a game there, below street level, but you can, from street level, you can see down onto the court.
It's like a coliseum, like one of those old school medieval.
It is, yeah. It's like it's built into the ground. It's absolutely beautiful. And you know it's just a matter of time before they start to really make noise at the U Sports level.
And they're putting in work, man. They're putting in work, both Coach Campbell and DeGiorgio, and I think DeGiorgio specifically represents the new blood at the U Sport level. You know, he's very ambitious, he's got a go-getter's mentality. He doesn't settle. And it's tough at that level because they're going after, you have to go after high academics. And as we know, as we've dealt with a lot of these kids, not all of them take care of their academics early on, so it makes them very tough to be recruited.
Shout out Evan Shadkami, NPA alum, Central Tech alum, now playing for U of T.
That dude's a tough cookie.
Absolutely, one of my favorite kids to watch last year. And you'll see his alma mater, Central Tech, up next at 11:15 as they take on the Saint Laurent Express out of Quebec. Got in last night. Head coach Akram Slyman in his last season at the helm. What an unbelievable story. 40 years at the same school, originally as a player, then moved up to the coaching ranks, has now been a head coach there for 25 years, an assistant, has also played at that same school. Their academic advisor went to that same school. That roster up and down, all Montreal natives, all from the same town. And we'll have a little, what we like to call a mini session out at St. Laurent, as the division that they play in will get together to kind of play off each other twice, and that will be exciting. And I can't wait to see the fans out in attendance there, as you know NPH and the NPA has always shown love for Quebec. We're looking forward to taking our road there. I know you were on the road and you were in Quebec as well recently, and they love their ball out there. I think you said it best. They have fans out there.
Definitely high-level hoops all around. I think the fans, they really get into it. That's the difference between Ontario and other places. I think in Ontario we have a lot of spectators, people who come out and want to criticize and critique and do this, that, and the other, but not really fans unless you're a parent or a brother or a sister of somebody who's playing. I mean, they love watching basketball, they love coming out, but what we need is culture to keep building, and that's what brings about fans.
Take a look at head coach Greg Robitaille talking to his Beast squad. Again, a little undermanned this morning. Beast will be playing again later on today. They'll take on RNS out of New Brunswick. Again, if you have some time here today, check out our YouTube page, North Pole Hoops. We've started to put together some features on each of our programs to let you know who these squads are, not only from a basketball level, which obviously Elias has been able to provide you, but also the programs themselves, the coaches. We say it's an MPA family, and that is absolutely true. Everybody running their programs at a high level, and everybody with a different story to tell. Beast, for example, a first-year program, trying to get things off the ground here. While Crestwood, second year, but first in the NPA, looking to make this a long-term program here in Toronto.
I really love the feature that you guys did for the Crestwood. It was informative. It was straight to the point. They had some punches in it, and I love the line that they said that they're not trying to be here for just 1 year. This is a long-term thing, and I think that if there's anybody that could do it, it's Coach Rowe. He's got unbelievable ties to the community. There's the AAU side of things where he has, again, strong ties with the grassroots program, with Brothers Keeper and many others.
Yeah, the one thing Rowe mentioned to me in our interview is that he's looking at this like he can retire here. He can build something special here, and he's bringing in young guns because they can play at that junior varsity level, and then he can bring them up to this squad. And really, it could be a framework for schools going forward on how to get it done. And I've known Rowe for a lot of years, and very informative to be able to talk to him both off camera and on camera to what he sees he can do here. Nice finish, Victor Yoryor. You see what Beast is going to be able to do with the size that they've brought in.
I think they're just learning how to use their pieces and how to getting them to mesh in with the existing team.
Foul called. Franco Miller has been a little silent since his little chin up on the rim resulted in a tech. But he's going to the line looking to build on his double-digit point total today.
Well, he's well over his average right now.
Yep. No, I think he probably saw that Jacoby Neath isn't here because of injury, and he was going to have to step up. This is the first. And it's the only small thing in his game. We saw it a bit in Ottawa as well. Just calming himself down and getting it done at the line. And we saw that a lot. He'd miss the first, take the deep breath, and completely wet on the second. Beast has not been able to find their consistency from range, which is why they've been down by double digits. Nice pass, Franco Miller, look away dime. Agbapu with the finish. And here you see it, Crestwood just throwing up that wall, but cashing from downtown. Cutting the lead back down to 13. Beast not going away. Franco Miller pull up. No good. Demirsu is going to slow it down for the final shot. Smart move. Ooh. Jumping into the passing lane. Here's Miller running off the screen. Taking it hard. Put back finish. Agbapu cleaning up the mess. 54-39, the home team with a 15-point lead at the break. Stay with us. We'll be back. Second half action in just a short break.
The first and only NPA championship banner currently hangs in our nation's capital, the home of Canada Top Flight Academy. But it didn't come easy for Ottawa's only boys prep basketball program, who lost the first 5 games in the program's history before a team meeting put them on the path to making Canadian basketball history.
It was a pretty rocky start for us, coming into our first year as a team and as a program. We started off losing 5 games in a row. It was tough, everybody wasn't in the greatest mindset.
That's the meeting that just changed everything. We were straight up with each other. We were all honest, and then we got better as a team. The chemistry got better, and then we started winning games, and we became confident.
Ended up winning 13 in a row, and then it was just a great finish to have come out on top as the first ever national champions.
As a founder, as someone who just started this, prep school, you have a vision, and to see it come to fruition sort of in the first year, it was one of the biggest thrills in my life. Being an Ottawa guy, so proud at every level. The Ravens and the Ottawa UGGs, obviously the club system with Ottawa Elite. Now you add ourselves in the mix with the prep schools. We're seeing again a lot of the hard work, pay off.
Like any championship-level team, CTA is now working even harder to stay atop the National Preparatory Association, while continuing to give Ottawa area basketball players a chance to stay at home and rep a city that never seems to get the respect it deserves in basketball circles.
Thought was always in the back of my mind about, getting to grade 11 and 12 was, am I going to have to go away? And I think Ottawa basketball has just been continuing to come on the rise, and with this program that Tony put in place, it's just only going to get better and become more successful. And it's just awesome to be part of that.
At first, I didn't know where to go. I was really done. I thought that my basketball career was done. I was trying to go to another prep outside of Ottawa, but my mom didn't want me to go anywhere. She wanted me to stay home. It's not like you're going to get an offer from a high school in Ottawa. And then when the prep came out, when Tony House created the prep, that really helped me out as a player.
We are the defending champs. We know that, we've got to be better than we were last year. It's just about preparation, and we feel pretty confident that with the staff and with the new recruits that we've got, we're going to defend, and we're going to try and win another one.
I'm Denzel Cummings. I'm mic'd up for Northwood Hoops. I'm mic'd up, so. I got shit. I'm mic'd up.
Start in Virginia with pin downs. Let's start it on Jakucha's side, and let's get the ball swung. Let's not be predictable.
We got one game. Let's go. All low. Straight up. Fan you up the over. Got 6. 1, 2, 3.
Charge, yeah. Good job, boy. Good boy.
Shock them. Shock you if they missed me.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but you're playing man.
Oh, my fault.
Next time you see Josh, you tell him one more.
Okay. Listen, when you're running flex, keep on coming, because that's what I was looking for.
We're running that again. You were wide open.
So, hey, 13's got in court. Power.
Now we've gone small.
Yeah.
We've gone small. So now we're looking to pump fake and see if we can drive it if we don't get open shots. So we're in power right now.
Hey, in power. Charge! Oh! Good. Hey, it's a good. You good? Good job. I want you up. I want you up. Where's the clean call?
22.
Yeah, that's what I call.
Yeah, but you got to tell Bonehead to find his best shooter. In the corner, he was wide open.
Oh! Ain't no more playing around. I ain't playing around no more. 8 seconds! Yeah! Audrey, come here! Come here! That's you! That's what I mean! Good job! Read it. You have to read it. It's not a play, it's a read.
Just go dribble entry, and let's get it into Josh.
Josh! Josh! Josh, look at me. Get up and dunk it. He cannot handle you. He cannot handle you. Purple! Purple! I'm in front of him. He's legit grabbing me, throwing me. I told
you. You're getting into his body. Get off his body. Right here, he can't grab you. Here, step towards me. Step towards me. That's all you got to do.
Good minutes, just for a bit, just for a bit. You got 4. Just for a bit. Good minutes, good minutes.
They can't handle you. They can't handle you. End this game. Yo, let's go. Oh yeah! Go, 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 go! Go, go, go! Oh yeah! Now, Matt, stand up when he hits a shot. When he hits a shot, Matt, get abs. Get.
Shot. Ready, blow.
Yes, buddy.
Oh yeah, Steph! Hey!
KG done?
I know, man. Hey, look at this guy. Look at this guy, man. You know what you're doing, man.
He's up next. He's up next.
Nova Scotia has a lot of basketball history, and Halifax Prep is adding a new chapter as the province's first prep program. The NPA's youngest head coach, Marcus Eaton, is working alongside the team's founders to use the Maritimes' working class mentality as the team's on-court identity.
We can ball with anyone in the country.
When I played basketball when I was younger, there was nothing like this. I don't even think I knew about prep school, right? And it was happening all over the country and in North America, but now that we have it here in Halifax, it's exciting. I'm very excited. We're always gonna have Nova Scotians on our team, but we don't have big players. We don't have any 6'5", 6'6" guys. It's 1 in a million kind of thing. So it's really that grit, that heart, right? And they never give up. It's a never give up attitude over there in Nova Scotia.
We have to play with heart and give it everything we got every time we step on the court. We have to use our speed to our advantage. A lot of kids looked up to us, and then they see us playing at a higher level, and then I just want to show them that if they put the work in, then the sky's the limit for them.
Like any basketball program, recruiting players from outside the province is important. And in their debut season, Brandon Muntu from Calgary, Alberta made the move out east, surprising many in his hometown.
They were kind of shocked at first because they're like, you know, why move? You can just stay in the city. But like, I thought it was best for me and also for my family that I move out of the city and try to do a lot more things with my basketball career as well. It was kind of different moving from a winning team. It's good to win games, but at the same time, if you're not losing games, you're not learning from your mistakes.
Bringing a Brandon Muntu and really elevating.
Good guy to have in front of you right now. Franco Miller leading the way with 17 points for Crestwood Preparatory College as they hold a 15-point lead here through the opening 20 minutes of Game 1 of 21. Our New Year's Challenge, New Year Challenge session. Beast Prep just stayed out here on the floor during our halftime break to talk things over, but Franco Miller, steal, going back the other way. This guy loves traffic, he loves contact, and he's very good mid-air avoiding the bodies. Franco Miller with 19, having himself a morning here in his home gym.
Now shedding some light here on David Abiodun, again a product of Lagos, Nigeria. I think that he has a very defined skill set in terms of rebounding, and I think that that is enough for a player like that to earn a scholarship strictly off of those capabilities. And if he hones that, good closeout that time by David, and if he hones that, I think he's going to get a lot of interest from college coaches.
Franco Miller dropping a shiny dime the way of his teammate. Love this kid. Class of 2018. Downtown connection. Abdou Figueroa.
You mentioned earlier, Beast does not give up. They fight right to the end, and they're right in this game. I mean, unless, you know, Crestwood has had a couple of opportunities to play some bench guys, but I think Coach Rose is going to want to start off the second half here and try to put a stake in it.
Abiodun, offensive rebound, back out Figueroa. Onto the wing. Matt Green, back rimming out. Another offensive rebound. Coach Russell is not going to be happy about this. Thomas waiting for his big man to catch up. Instead, pull-up jumper. Ooh. One of those bad shot. Nope, good shot. Went in. Confidence from the point guard. Another steal. Franco Miller. The runway's open. Ooh, finishing soft off glass.
And you knew that one was coming.
Luis Pacheco had that ball in his sights, spiked it out of bounds. The defensive specialist is special.
He timed that one perfectly. He read it from a mile away.
He rolled his ankle coming down after that swat. Figueroa with the little push off, no call. Moriarty contorting the body but can't finish, no call. Crestwood has numbers if they push it. Franco Miller into the corner, Kobe Antwi, no good. Moriarty leaking out. Again, you know, Beast is very, very weak on the glass so far. Sorry, that was Jervon Davis. Franco Miller, you just can't stop this kid. Cashing from downtown. Just have not been impressed with Beast's aggression at the rim. Have not been able to finish consistently. The lead's up to 21. Stay with us. We'll be back. Second half action of the New Year Challenge.
NPH events. There's an opportunity to get involved at the ground level. NPH hosts elite level high school tournaments to national club team championships throughout the course of the season. Now is your chance to get involved with the fastest growing sport in Canada with the industry leaders and influencers. Get in the game today and join NPH in growing basketball in this country. NPH events. NPH Scouting Service. The NPH Scouting Service is another platform for exposure with a network of over 300 coaches and scouts from some of the most recognizable brands and programs. Our scouts.
We're back. 7:03 to go here in the third quarter. Beast has been hanging around, but Crestwood has come out in this third quarter. Ro Russell providing some halftime adjustments that have worked to perfection. But when it comes down to it, if you got a guy like Franco Miller on your squad who is not only getting it done offensively, but jumping into passing lanes and coming up with a handful of steals, kind of hard to nullify that.
And he's going to be rewarded with a little bit of a breather, I would assume sometime soon, but I mean, he's 2 points over his season average of 18, and he's still got it rolling. Here he is again, no hesitation, 3-ball, Franco Miller. Let's go.
The coaches that are at home that are checking out Franco Miller, trying to come up with a scouting report. Thomas with 2 off glass. Crestwood now pouring it on, pushing the lead up to 24.
And Beast is going to really have to make some adjustments and make them quickly. For teams that are watching right now who will be playing Beast in the future, one thing that's pretty evident is that they cannot handle a press. And other teams, there's a bunch of other teams that can really use their length and their defensive versatility and really take away lanes. That's going to become a problem for these guys.
Again, Beast undermanned here this morning, missing a couple of key pieces to their squad, so we'll probably see a different team this afternoon.
Yeah, seeing Anthony Bradshaw and David Abiodun for the first time playing together is going to be different. They're definitely going to be able to close out on a lot of boards and seal their man. You know, taking away a lot of second chance opportunities for Crestwood.
And I've mentioned that I haven't been impressed with Beast's aggression at the rim. One guy who personifies aggression at the rim is Anthony Bradshaw.
Yeah.
They're missing that right now. Franco Miller running off the screen. Nice pass. Antwi passes it off the leg.
Curious, sorry to cut you off there, buddy. Very curious to see what Bradshaw looks like physically, especially coming off of a Christmas break. You know, there's different body types. Some guys are able to really put on weight quickly. Others, you know, not so much. So it'll be interesting to see.
And you really see the difference when Beast tries to dribble through this press. Sometimes they get it over mid-court, but it doesn't result in anything good. But when they make those crisp passes, they at least get it over mid-court cleanly. There's your rebounder right there. But again,
just
Thomas.
kind of stick to his job.
Yep. And you want to talk about a guy who has stepped up. We've obviously been talking about Franco Miller, but Trevon Thomas has filled the void, left the large void left by Jacoby Neath. They play a different style of game. Oh, Franco Miller just tried to give us our first poster of the session. On the other end, Abiodun cleaning up the mess.
I think Abiodun is playing a little frustrated. On that last possession, you saw him go, coast to coast, or try to go coast to coast before he turned it over off of a rebound, and that's because his guys aren't able to get it across half court.
And what you saw right there was Abiodun with the swat, close to being a goaltend, but I think it was good. And Beast got out in the open floor, but that was one of the only times today that we've seen them be able to get in transition off a steal or a block.
Just walking into the gym right now is Coach Nate Philippe in his first year at York University. One of the best dudes out there, just, heart of gold, good person, got the X's and O on lock. I think he has a very holistic approach to coaching. He's able to get his guys together, able to be that father figure for teammates while also being stern.
We've had an opportunity to meet head coach Nate Philippe at the under-19 Canada basketball camp this summer, and you're dead on. That was exactly the first impression I had. The biggest smile in the gym, and there were a lot of big smiles in that gym. He was an impressive addition to that camp, and obviously named soon after that camp, was named the head coach at York University and has a pretty good recruiting class going on there.
And York was in desperate need of an overall change, just a different culture. And he's, with the NCAA background that he has, I think he's the man for the job. With the ties that he has to Toronto basketball recruiting and in Montreal as well, I think it's a perfect fit.
He's one of many head coaches in the U Sports level or at the U Sports level that has been able to contribute to the growth we've seen at that level, and that we'll continue to see recruiting classes improving. And I think the thing that really excites me about that, we talk about players staying home, as we see Elijah Fisher cashing the jumper, but it's exciting to see high-level coaches staying home, some of which returning home. And that's what excites me about that U Sports level. People looking to grow the game at home, and not only in the player ranks, in the coaching ranks as well. Demirsu, a lot of ball movement. Yeesh. Trevon Thomas. Trevon Thomas getting the bench on their feet. Great steal. A little Rajon Rondo-esque fake pass, then finishing off glass. This is exciting to see this Crestwood squad without one of their top players stepping up. This is exactly what Roe Russell had in mind, building this program from the junior varsity level up to this NPA level as well. Guys that can step up when called upon to play. And these guys are stepping up with the spotlight on them. Thomas called for the foul. Matt Green now going to the line to shoot 2 out of Brampton, Ontario, my hometown. Shout out 4-10-7. 3:25 to go here, a 23-point lead. Crestwood has come out in this third quarter and decided that enough is enough. That double-digit lead has ballooned. Thomas, Antwi, kick out, 3-ball, no good. Ball hit the overhead stanchion. And Crestwood really has had, although it's a little light, ooh, could have been a travel call there. Crestwood's had pressure on pretty much from the hop today. Definitely see their style. There is no possessions off with this squad. They're going to be a problem come nationals time.
Yep, and that's one team that, you know, started off with a little bit of a struggle and were tested against some really strong teams out in Ottawa.
Absolutely.
Confidence is being built up. You have a lot of different pieces that are getting playing time, and they're going to be in a good position. Elijah Fisher, one of the youngest guys in the league, if not the youngest guys in the league, getting buckets here in this game.
Once again, Crestwood coming up with the steal. Nice block. Ooh, have not been able to finish some of the nice passing play we've seen out of Beast, but cleaning up the mess is Victor Yor, who started that off with a nice swat on D. .235 to go. Franco Miller has been out there all second half. It's been the linchpin to this bomb of an offensive explosion that the Lions have brought.
And Kobe Antwi's usually money from that corner, but hasn't been able to get it to go. Just not enough legs under him.
That looks good coming right off the fingertips. Dylan Nelson, top 20 scorer in this league at 16.3 points per game. Good call by the official, travel call.
Jaden Langley Thomas, a young PG, class of 2022. He'll be one of the guys we'll be talking about for years to come. A top guard in his own right.
Yeah, I think we're going to be talking a lot about the guard play at Crestwood for years to come.
Well, that's one thing that Coach Rowe's done an excellent job with, is working specifically with guards. You know, I guess the biggest example to date is Corey Joseph. A lot of people want to take credit for, you know, different development of different players. Coach Rowe had a direct influence on that kid's game. Also, along with David Joseph, the father of Corey.
Elijah Fisher just showed us some post moves that I hadn't seen before out of the kid. Now bringing it up court. Franco Miller with it. Back up top. Cash it from downtown, Steven Lazar. Foul called on Fisher.
Steven Lazar, also a class of 2020, again another young buck, and as you know, he stands at 6'6". He's got about an inch on Elijah Fisher, able to step out and shoot the three and connect from there with good mechanics. That's a very promising sign for the Crestwood Lions.
Looking at Lazar, a little thin up top, but has a pretty decent base on him for being the age that he is. Always look the lower body of guys of that age and that build. Just I said that he got pushed underneath the rim pretty easily. Miller working that rock. And look, it's Fisher again in the post. Kick out. Lazar, no good. It's interesting to see Elijah Fisher working out of the post. We've had a couple of near spikes here this morning. Things are just getting warmed up. Game 1 of 6 here on day 1 of 4. 21 games on this session running Wednesday through Saturday. Again, we're at Crestwood Preparatory College in North York. Come check us out if you have a chance. The gym's already filling up.
And that was the import from Nigeria, David Abiodun, getting it done at the free throw line. This is the first time we've seen him, and he's looking solid. That's his 4th block of the game there. Double digits and boards as well.
There's another one
for him, and he's just got to focus on the game. He's doing a little bit of tripping right now.
Yeah, and it's the staring down of everybody that is blocking. When you're down 17 points, probably more important to make sure your team gets the ball and turns it up the other way.
That's going to do 2 things when you are showboating and then staring the opponent down. 1, it's going to take away from the momentum going the other way. 2, it's potential for attack. So either way, you're hurting your team when you're doing that. I mean, I applaud him for the defensive presence, but you got to be smarter. You're down 22, you have no right to be
and beyond that, how much of a defensive presence is it when you've allowed 83 points and you're not even through 3 quarters yet? Beast looking to end the quarter on a positive note. They find themselves stuck 17 with 10 minutes to go here in game 1. Stay with us. We'll be back to North York, Ontario.
Rep by rep, you push yourself. Effort is only half the battle. Doubt sets in. Why do you do it? Is it worth it? The lights turn on. All your questions are answered.
Bembry handling it, cross court to Pangos for 3, and Kevin knocks it down.
I read a book called Outliers, and it talked about why people need people around them to take advantage of in order to succeed at the highest levels. That same summer, Kevin was chosen as the youngest member of the national team. Kevin might be an outlier. Kevin was playing for A-Game Hoops, which is a team that Kyle Julius ran, and Kevin was on the team as a high school player. And I was coaching at the University of Guelph, and Kevin was lighting us up. And I'm loving this because I've loved Kevin since he was a kid, but I'm also hating it because we're getting drilled by this team. And Chris leans over to me and says, "That guy can't miss." And I went, "Title." Because it says about what Kevin's life's about is whatever happens to him, he just rolls with it. And we all need to learn from that. A failure is just a part of success.
Taking a look at Dylan Nelson, leading scorer for Beast Prep. They're going to fight all the way to the end. They have quite an uphill climb as they've had since the beginning of this game, down double digits pretty much from the opening minutes of this one. Franco Miller getting the roll, why not? He has not had a break in this second half, getting it done on in every facet of the game here today. Been very impressed with Abiodun as well. making his NPA streaming debut. There's Shane Scruggs, who we really haven't talked about since that opening quarter. Pushing lead up to 20. Palamarchuk gets swallowed up by that Crestwood D. And Franco Miller just pouring it in here today.
At this point, everybody on the Crestwood roster has touched the floor, and not only touched the floor, but also scored.
And you figured that was going to be the game plan coming in. They're undermanned without Neath. Got 2 games here today, 2 again tomorrow. Coach Russell was going to dip into that bench early and often. You know, there's showtime passes, and then there's just smart, high-level passing. And Franco Miller is the second. He put some flash on his passes, but they were always on time, on target. And here we go again. You know, behind the back pass, but he gave it right into the pocket for Elijah Fisher, who's now going to go to the line to shoot 2.
You're right. It's all about target passing and putting your teammates in a situation to score. You know, bettering the percentages of the opportunity to score, and he's done that.
And we've talked about, talked about it in Ottawa, and we've talked about it here today, but watching these teams progress as they grow together, watching the players progress, and that's a perfect example, Franco Miller right there. You know, in the Ottawa session, we saw physically what he could provide. We knew that he had a scoring touch, but now here we are, what, a month and a half later, and you've seen how he's been able to gel with this squad. Very impressive. Fisher at the line, one of the young bucks of this Crestwood program. Getting some run. Extending that lead. Crestwood once again picking them up in the full court. Jumper, no good. Fisher, defensive rebound, pushing it in transition. Thought he was going to spike that one home. Fisher very smooth in so many aspects of his game despite the young age.
You know, having a size advantage for so long over his young opponents, I think he's been able to add versatility to his game. He's had his way in the paint. He's created offense from the perimeter. He does a little bit of everything. So, I mean, I look at him as just a complete package at this point in terms of, considering his age. Take that with a grain of salt. But where his skill set is at this age is absolutely phenomenal. Highly regarded as the #1 player in the 2023 class, and that's in North America. Some people say the world. I can't speak on the world yet, but he's definitely up there from what I've seen from North America.
Spinning into the lane, forcing the contact. Good opportunity here with a large lead. Rowe getting his young buck in there. Give him some minutes at this level. Does not look out of place. Misses them both. Franco Miller comes down with the offensive rebound. No good from range. Beast looking to get it going the other way. Scruggs, a one-handed board.
One thing I like about Scruggs' rebounding is when he pulls it down, he protects. He immediately pulls it in and makes sure that it's secure. There he is on the finish.
Elijah Fisher, offensive rebound. A beautiful dish down low. Barely breaking a sweat out there right now either. This is just his game. Very impressed with this Crestwood bench as well. They've been in this game from the start. Easy to lose your mental edge when you have a lead like this, but they're in this game. Miller. Once again, Franco Miller, no look to Fisher. You know, interviewing these guys a couple weeks back, they all talked about building for the next generation, and it's cool when you can see the next generation playing with them at the same time. You see Franco Miller there. That's Scruggs with the swat. But you see Franco Miller, a senior out of the Bahamas, dishing it off to a guy who could be here for the next 3 years, and Elijah Fisher. You see the past, present, and future put on display by Crestwood. They're up big, 6:24 to go. We'll be back after a short break.
Bembry handling it. Cross court to Pangos for three, and Kevin knocks it down.
I read a book called Outliers, and it talked about why people need people around them to take advantage of in order to succeed at the highest levels. That same summer, Kevin was chosen as the youngest member of the national team. Kevin might be an outlier. Kevin was playing for A-Game Hoops, which is a team that Kyle Julius ran, and Kevin was on the team as a high school player. And I was coaching at the University of Guelph, and Kevin was lighting us up. And I'm loving this because I've loved Kevin since he was a kid, but I'm also hating it because we're getting drilled by this team. And Chris leans over to me and says, "That guy can't miss." And I went, "Title." Because it says about what Kevin's life's about is whatever happens to him, he just rolls with it. And we all need to learn from that. A failure is just a part of success, and that's the way he really, really views it. So if you have that attitude.
Has to back out. Now he's got a little space to operate. Nice pass. Wow. Oh, what a nice pass.
Kevin read a book called Long Shot, a story about Steve Nash. I can connect it with Steve's story a lot, not comparing them, but just the whole idea that when Nash won the NBA.
97-68. The Crestwood Lions have stepped on the gas pedal in this second half and have not looked back. Beast Prep just trying to work out some kinks here. Foul by Scruggs. Victor Yor at the line. He's taking a bit of a beating here today.
You know, at least we're starting to see some life from them on the rebounding side of things. It's not a one-man show anymore, and I think that, you know, Beast can rely on these guys to really lift them up with the boards and take away second chance opportunities and, you know, really start to finish around the basket.
I think we'll see a different looking squad in their second game today in Beast. They'll be taking on the Rossay Netherwood Riverhawks in their second game of the day here at 2:45 p.m. They'll have Anthony Bradshaw, I believe, available for that one. Demirsu.
That was Langley Thomas on the stop and pop, no good.
Fisher tucking it like a running back. Once again, going back to the line.
To have that quality at that early of an age, that tells me high IQ and experience. A lot of kids, when they're, you know, they're starting their drive, especially coming down the middle, they don't have the presence of mind to really protect the ball the way he does. He wrapped that one. If you're trying to go for a steal as a defender, it's either going to be a foul or an and-one finish.
Fisher splits a pair. Wing three, no good, leaking out. Langley Thomas, pull up three, is wet. And immediately Crestwood there to put some pressure on. They're not letting up. Just over the midway point here of the final quarter. Javon Davis gets the roll.
And Beast has got to make this lead respectable here. If they're going to go down, they got to go down battling as they have done in the past. You know, this would be a bad start for them, and it would show other teams that, you know, you can really come out at these guys in there. They got no punch back.
I mean, they've given up 101 points, and there's still 4:30 to go here in this game. Obvious to see where they need to get their work done. It's on the defensive end. Some nice passing there. They've shown flashes, you know, when they don't over dribble and they make their crisp passes, keep the ball in the air. It looks good. Fisher, no good. Rowe asking if he could have got a whistle because one of his players was down, but have to side with the officials there. That wasn't a contact play. You need to give up the foul if you want to get a bit of a timeout there for your player. Demirsu, I think, had injured his ankle on the previous trip up the floor, or his leg. Shane Scruggs cashes it. 4:05 to go here. Ooh. Nice shot from the corner. Dylan Nelson. Fisher down low to Scruggs. Brings it back out. Lazar, no good.
Jay, one thing that confuses me with teams, and I don't know, I think it comes down to personality traits and the way that society's developing these kids. Have you seen a bit of vocal leadership from anybody, from Beast? Anybody step up and say, hey guys, we're down big, we got to get this thing together? Anyone providing some extra burst of energy?
No, I don't know if that just has to do with a team that's still getting used to each other. You know, it would be nice for them, for somebody on this squad to say, hey, I'm going to take this role. You know, I've seen guys been able to score, like right there, Dylan Nelson. But you're right, I couldn't tell you, I mean, outside of Abiodun, who's talking on D.
Yeah, and he's doing it more like on his end. It's more personal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more one-on-one. But man, it does wonders. It absolutely does wonders when you got a guy that can really get, you know, that can really hold guys accountable. A guy that can really pull them in during timeouts. You know, be vocal on defense. There's been none of that here in the early going.
I wonder again if it's just guys, you know, trying to find their spot. But you know, very rarely do you see guys take those reins, and I wonder why that is. Franco Miller still out there for Crestwood. Leading scorer in this game is Miller. Beast down 22 with 2 minutes to go here. Crestwood, the host school for this session. There we go. Abiodun spiking it home in transition. It's been an easy go in game one for Crestwood. They'll be back on the floor later on today, taking on LBA at 4:30. The London Basketball Academy will be taking the trip up to 401 a little bit later on this afternoon. Beast Prep will also be back on the floor. The 2:45 game against the RNS Riverhawks. Our next game, a great matchup. Tell your friends to tune into the live stream. Central Tech taking on St. Laurent. The Express back to full strength with Ben Datro in the lineup. Central Tech have Raheem Sullivan, a top 5 scorer in the NPA and a top 5 assist man in the NPA. Raheem Sullivan is a treat to watch for those Central Tech Blues. Make sure you tune into that one. That will be coming up next at 11:15. Beasts finally getting to go from range here late in the fourth quarter. Not incredibly helpful at this point. They could have used that in the first half when they were lacking their consistency from range, trying to battle back from double-digit deficits pretty much throughout. But as I mentioned, I think we'll see a different Beast squad this afternoon.
Stop, please. Right, go, Monty.
Right here.
34 seconds to go here. Winding it down. Game 1 of 21 in this session. That'd be Odin. Pump fake. Can't finish. Ends up on the floor. Nice pass. Luis Pacheco providing the dagger in this one. Missed a few early on. Must feel good to dent some tin here in the final seconds. 10 seconds to go. Thomas again to Pacheco. 111-88 for the host Crestwood Lions. And that will be your final. Stay with us after a short break. Central Tech, St. Laurent, Game 2, the New Year Challenge, the NPA on NorthPoleHoops.com.